have you decided what went wrong yesterday?
I will tend to agree with Dunn and tell everyone that the better team won on that day. I think I tweeted something earlier in the game that said, we have to get touchdowns in those red zones because you got a guy like Aaron Rodgers who's playing lights out, and as good as the defense is, man, when you got a guy like him, you can only hold him down for so long. And I felt as though we kind of squandered some opportunities to get 14 points. It was a time where I thought the score should have been 17-0. I looked up, it was 6-0. And I just felt as though that would come back to haunt us. And then, man, that Hail Mary, even though in the perfect world we get a PI call there, but you're never going to get that call, so I'm not even going to waste my breath on it. But that happens there, and I don't care what kind of man you are or what they say about, the team coming back out at halftime. That kind of puts that flattens your mojo there. And I don't think they ever really, totally recovered from that. Even though after that fourth down call by McCarthy, we go down and we score. It just seems like, Green Bay played a step quicker than we did all night. After the first quarter.
I thought special teams was killer, too. After Eli throws that touchdown to King, the kickoff short, they return it to the 40, and then, of course, it took Rodgers all of, 30 seconds to make it an 8-point game again. Yeah. How about the special teams? And also Wing with his line drive punts, it just seemed like really killed the Giants' field position.
Yeah, I think so. And you talk about Rainey who stepped out on that. I know what he's trying to do there, but that play really, really killed us when he steps out. I think it was the 4-yard line on kickoff. Special teams didn't help us there, but I'm super proud of what that team was able to accomplish. On days like the gloom and doom day because you're out of it, but that team was 11-5 football team in a very competitive NFC East. There's a lot to build on. I'm very excited about the future under McAdoo and going forward. But I don't feel as bad just because I know Green Bay is a hell of a football team. You're playing them in their place. And they're hot. They remind me of teams that I played on where they had to win. They've had playoff scenario type games for a long time here, and it showed.
How do you solve the problem that is Odell Beckham Jr.? Do you believe he's a problem, Justin?
It's funny, man, because perception is reality, right? But all the players in that locker room has his back 100%, and that's what I look at. So it leads me back to maybe we're making too big of a deal out of it because I know what's going to happen. And I said this last week. He opened himself up to, the scrutiny that comes with if he doesn't perform at a high level. But the fact of the matter is this. He's dropped passes in games where he performed, where he didn't go sit on a boat or he, didn't have anything hovering around him. It just so happens that when you go to Miami on your day off and you post pictures on Instagram or social media, you open yourself up to the fact that if you don't perform, people are going to, have very negative things to say about that. Whether or not it's warranted, whether or not his performance is based off the fact he went to Miami, do I think it is? Absolutely not. I don't. I just feel as though you just don't do that, though. So was it a mistake? Yeah, it was a mistake. But did it have as much to do with the outcome of that football game as people are going to say it did? No.
No, I hear everything you're saying, and it doesn't matter what I say, Don says, Peter says, what anybody in the newspaper, it doesn't matter. Yeah. But today, Jerry Reese comes out and said, I spoke with Odell, I told him to grow up. Well, what does that mean? Why does he have to grow up?
Yeah, I don't know what it means, But at the end of the day, that's the boss. And, if I was telling Odell anything, I would tell him this, that you just don't want to, and I'm very careful how I say it, you just don't want people to have the perception of you because that goes a long way. He's an awesome football player, and, from what I see on the outside, I'm on the outside looking in now, but what I see is a guy that truly wants to win. He truly wants to have fun doing it, and hasn't necessarily figured out exactly what that optimum formula is, and that's okay. If people always ask me would I have wanted him on my team, absolutely. But in a way, he does need to grow up and realize that this is a business. People are looking at him as a business commodity, and his play on the football field can be outweighed by other things. And I don't know what that perfect scenario is, but there is a scenario where he becomes more of a hassle, and that's going along down the road, I hope. But I'm hoping that he sees this offseason he has time to sit down and really think, because he's a tremendous athlete, and from what I've heard from other people, a tremendous person. So I just technically want the best from him.
Well, what he also learned, you hope, is that the regular season and the postseason are two completely different animals. As someone that played in both, can you articulate what the differences are between, an average game in Week 13 and a playoff game in Lambeau?
For anyone that says they can articulate that, I think they're lying straight to their teeth. Because I've been there, I've done it, but I can't sit here and tell anyone how to do it. I can't. I know it worked for me, and I know it worked for other people around me. What worked for me didn't work for OC. What worked for OC didn't work for Strahan. What worked for Strahan didn't work for LT, so on and so forth. But you have to understand that when it comes playoff football, it's almost equated to like how I felt when I went from Notre Dame to the NFL, just how much of a jump it was. But playoff football is that much of a jump going from Week 16 to that first week of play. It's that big of a jump for the competition, the how perfect you have to be, how on cue, everything that goes into your game plan you have to be on, because guys are it's heightened, and you can't understand that until you've gone through it. Everybody. Hindsight's 20/20, right? Everybody, they talk to me now like I've never lost a playoff game. Like we only won 2 Super Bowls and that's it. Yeah. But we lost our fair share of them too. So, but the thing about it is, what I hope this football team does is they learn from it. Then it made us hungry. It made us. Well, I remember Carolina beat us in our place. I think it was 21-0 in our place. My first playoff game, and I was so mad. And I remember OC sitting there and looking at me and saying, we'll be back next year. And that's how we equated it. I took that and I fueled it in my off season. I fueled it in the next 16 weeks that we played. And when we got back to that thing, I used that. I remembered that, and I'm hoping that this team remembers this. I hope they remember. I'm sitting at home watching the game, and the fullback for Green Bay scores a touchdown, and he spikes the ball. I got upset. Like it was like I was still on the football field, and that would be something I would remember. I would use that and say like, well. Obviously they wouldn't run up the score, but I would use that. That would be my motivation. I want to be that team that is celebrating on the sideline, and my coach is getting pneumonia from us, Gatorade bath for him in 10-degree weather. That's what I would want.
Are you as impressed with Landon Collins as we are?
Yeah, I am.
He's a stud, man. See,
you got to understand, man. Spags defense, if you're a guy Landon is perfect for it, I thought a guy like Antrell Rolle would have been perfect for Spags' defense. Those rover type safeties. Landon is a safety corner linebacker, and he's always going to be put in position to make plays. And when guys can do it like he does it, he's going to be the top of the charts for a long time if he stays healthy. I love how he plays.
Could he be? We were saying earlier, could he be the best player on the team? I was saying I think at this point he could be better than Odell.
It depends on how you look at it. From production-wise, consistency, maybe. But Odell does so much. And if you look at it, Odell does so much as far as opening up things for other people, because Odell's always doubled. He's always bracket coverage. I haven't never looked at it like that. But that's a good question, and I wouldn't be so quick to say no. That question is worth diving into.